Hello guys, this video is going to be having a look back on 2019 and how it went for me, and maybe towards the end more broadly looking back on the decade of the 2010s. This year has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to go over all the things that I've achieved, I've done, that I'm proud of. I'm not going to go into my plans for next year, I'm going to do that in tomorrow's video. So 2019 has been the most massive year of growth for me personally in my whole life, and I'm ending it more happy, stronger, more grateful, and a better person than I've ever been in my entire life, which is huge for me because I've always ebbed and flowed and gotten a bit better but then gotten way worse, and just, you know what I mean? Like, this year I made such a concerted effort to get better as a human being, and I couldn't be any more grateful for how the year's gone. So I'll look back at it. I can't really remember too much what I did in January. I don't think I was being healthy by any stretch of the imagination. Emily and I were just enjoying our first month in this place. In February we went to Japan. We had a phenomenal time. It was a really, really great time. But I did put on a bunch of weight and came back pretty unhappy with who I was as a person, and then I sort of stagnated from about March till April or May. Then in May, Emily and I joined CrossFit. It was a massive decision on our behalf, but we decided to do it anyway. A guy at work had talked to me about the benefits, and one of my other friends, she does it, and she's a badass and does all these crazy events, and she's fit as. So all that cumulatively just made me want to do it, and I could not be any more grateful. Still remember the first night Emily and I were going to join CrossFit, and I didn't want to go in, and Emily ended up pushing us to go in, and we joined. And it's absolutely changed my life. It's made me such a happier person. I'm so much stronger. I have a way better physique than I've ever had before. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm fitter than I've ever been. And my outlook on life and everything like that is more positive than it's ever been. And it is in large part due to CrossFit. So yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Speaking of, I just got my last CrossFit workout of the year in, and it was a partner WOD, and I worked out with one of the Italian chicks. She's a legend. Anyway, back to it. I forgot to mention that in February I started keeping a gratitude journal that I've kept every single day since. I'm up to about day... I do miss some days and then go back and just write things I'm grateful for. But I said I'm not going to talk about 2020, but I'll improve that in 2021. Oh, sorry, 2020. I'm not going to wait a whole year. It's day 304 today of my gratitude journal. I've also been taking cold showers for approximately that length of time. And the only warm shower I had was when I had a shower with Emily, like when we got back from Japan, I'm pretty sure. So I've pretty much I did take a cold shower that day as well, an isolated cold shower. So I've taken a cold shower pretty much every day for 305 days. And I also decided in about February or March to read 70 books this year. I've well exceeded that. And as we speak, I've read 144 books for the year. And that, coupled with CrossFit, has done so much to change my mind and my life. I can't even express how grateful I am for that. And for my friend at work, Shannon, who I had the conversation with, who inspired me to read the books. I used to always be embarrassed to tell people that I read self-development books and self-help sort of books. And then she was talking to me about it, and I was like, you know what? I even said to her at the time, I used to be embarrassed to read those sorts of books or to tell people that I did, but I'm not going to be anymore, because why would I be? I want to make my life better. Like, what's the point of being embarrassed about it? So yeah, I've read 144 books. A fair amount of them have been audiobooks, quite a few have been paperbacks, and some have been ebooks. Some of my favourites, my number one favourite of course, is Mr. David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. I can't remember if I read it last year. I'm pretty sure I read it this year. I'm pretty sure it was this year. The Resilience Project, which Emily got me for Christmas, I finished it in 2 or 3 days. Really great book. I enjoyed that one. There are too many to name. Mark Devine's books, Ryan Holiday's books, Oprah's books. Just so many. I've learned so many fantastic things. I'm probably forgetting ones that I really loved, but I've got them all in Goodreads. Been such a good year. Okay, so then in June, or maybe the start of July, we got little Magnolia, our doggo. Couldn't be more happy that we got her. We made the decision to adopt her, even though she has a lot of issues. Now, it hasn't all been smooth sailing, but we couldn't be any more grateful that we got this little puppy in our life. And it makes us happy every day. I love her so much. I'm looking at her right now. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Maggie. I am. Yeah, she's looking at me. So, probably, I don't know, June and July I probably stagnated quite a bit with my fitness and eating and all that sort of stuff. I was still struggling with binge eating disorder, and it was quite unpleasant, and I wasn't enjoying life. I gained a whole bunch of weight. I wasn't enjoying my job because I was overweight and unhappy and not feeling that good. And then along came 75 Hard, the mental toughness and completely life-changing program created by the entrepreneur Andy Frisella. I started it on the 26th of August, weighing in at like 86.6 kilos or something similar. And I kid myself, I joked myself for 50 odd days telling myself I was doing the program, and I'd occasionally drink and I'd occasionally have a cheat meal, and that wasn't a part of the program. I'm forever grateful that I did that, because at the end of the day, that made me realise how much I was fucking myself over and not living up to my expectations. I'm the sort of person that has a lot of integrity, and I wasn't living a life congruent to my goals and to my values when I was doing that. And thankfully, I fell completely off the wagon, and it made me really reassess things. And I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was maybe the 10th or 11th of October. I decided, fuck this, I'm not going to cheat myself anymore, I'm going to do it properly. And I did it properly. For 75 days, I did 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes, one of them was outside. I read 10 pages from a paperback book. I ate no more than 1,550 calories and no more than 1,600 calories for every single day of the 75 days. And what else did I do? I had no alcohol, and I took a progress picture every single day. During that time, I got down to like 67 kilos, lost quite a bit of weight. So more important than that was the changes that went on inside my mind. I realised that I'm capable of a lot more than I ever thought I was capable of. I'm a lot more mentally strong than I ever thought that I was. It increased my happiness, it increased my confidence in ridiculous amounts. People at work have been commenting on how great I look, but not only that, they've been commenting on how much less angry I am. I enjoy my job so much more now. It's less stressful, I'm happier, I enjoy going to work every day, and it's fantastic because I really needed that. Another great thing that's happened this year is I ran 2 half marathons. Those were both when I was still overweight and not eating well, but I got them done anyway. And then going back to 75 Hard, I genuinely believe I cured my binge eating disorder by realising that I just need to be more methodical about the way that I live. And if I'm trying to lose weight, don't try and be too extreme with it. Just eat 1,500 calories of good food, and then do smart things like reverse diet. And if I have one day off, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean I have to have 3 or 4. It doesn't mean I have to drink all the time. I found a lot of balance, and I've found that I'm more capable of being in control than I thought. Back to the races. I did my first ever Spartan Beast at Bright, and had a phenomenal time. Failed so many obstacles, 21 kilometres, and there were 30 obstacles, and I failed heaps to the point where I had to do 240 burpees, but I persevered and I got it done. And then I did another Spartan, the Spartan Sprint, with Emma and Brandon and Emily and a whole bunch of Emily's work friends, and that was fantastic too. It's ignited my passion for doing obstacle course races 100%. I learned to solo skydive. I did 5 jumps, and I wasn't very good at it, but I enjoyed it. And the fact that I have the kind of courage to overcome the fear of climbing to 12,000 feet in a plane and jump out with no one strapped to my back is just so far beyond anything I would have thought I would do this year. It's just incredibly phenomenal, and I'm very grateful that I continue to push my fears, continue to push my limits, and continue to try to get better. And I'm excited for the fact that I'm not good at it, because it's going to mean that I have to go back and try and get better, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And then I got my motorbike license, got off my L's, first try, knocked it out of the park, bought myself a snorkeling set and found a love of snorkeling. I did it first when I was 18 and on a cruise, 18 or 19 I was on a cruise, and then just didn't do it for like practically 10 years. And now I've fully discovered that I love it, bought my own snorkel set, and the rest is history. Anyway, pretty much that's the way my year's gone. I've become a lot happier, I've changed a lot, grown a lot. My relationship with Emily is a lot better than it was. My relationship with myself is a lot better than it was. I can say genuinely for the first time that I'm beginning to truly like myself as a person and to truly love myself as a person, and it's such a phenomenal feeling because it's something that I've always wanted and never been able to obtain, and now I've got it and I'm getting there, and it's only going to get better, and that's why I'm so excited for 2020. I've probably forgotten stuff that I've done throughout this year because I've done a lot, but if it's important I'll remember it, and I'll talk about it soon. I'm going to check if it's still recording, and then I'm going to talk about the decade and how it went. The battery's about to go out, so I'm going to end this recording talking about 2019, and then I will start a separate one to talk about the 2010s. So my battery's all charged up now and I'm all showered, ready to go to work later. Just to recap, 2019 was a phenomenal year. Besides for the fact that I got engaged last year and we bought this place, it was pretty much the best year of my life. It was the best year of my life this year. Because at the end of the day, houses and relationships are secondary to your own relationship with yourself. So 2019 was the best year of my life because my relationship with myself got a lot better, and it makes the house and having a partner so much better. So yeah, I can't even imagine what I'm going to be able to do in 2020. I feel like it's all cumulative and it'll keep building and building, so it's going to be sick. I can't wait. Here's to 2020. As for the decade, it's insane. I can't even tell you what I've done this decade. A lot can happen in 10 years. I feel like people overestimate what they can do in a short period of time, like months, and they underestimate what they can do in a longer period of time, like years. 2010, I was what? I would have been 18 years old. Disregard 19. I would have been 19 years old at the beginning of 2010. I would have turned... No. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, either way, I can't do maths. It's been a big decade. Like, I didn't have my driver's license at the beginning of the decade. I was like depressed, unhappy. And I stayed that way for pretty much the first half of the decade. I was in a bad relationship for 3 years, but I made the most of it by learning everything that I could from it. I learned never to make the same mistakes that I did with my ex, with my current partner, and I grew so much from it. In 2013, 2014, I got up to my highest ever weight. I was 126 kilos. I was morbidly obese. I was pre-diabetic. I would have died pretty quickly if I had continued on the path I was on. I was gaining weight rapidly. I would have been dead by 110%. But I changed it around because I believed in myself and I got better, and it's been a massive struggle because I struggled with binge eating disorder the entire decade, and I feel like I'm finally beating it into submission. It's a good feeling. I worked a whole bunch of different jobs, and now I've finally landed on a job that I can see myself doing for quite a long period of time. I absolutely love it. I've met my partner who I want to spend the rest of my life with. I've bought a home with that partner. We've got a dog together. I've started sports for the first time ever, or CrossFit, that's technically a sport. I run now. I started running in 2016. I never thought running would be a thing that I would do, but here I am a runner. It's fantastic. I started daily vlogging in 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's my 8th year this year. It's my 9th year next year. I reckon I'm going to go for a full decade of videoing my life every day, because why not? It's not a massive imposition on my life. Having said that, I'm pretty far behind on the vlogs at the moment, but I know I'll catch up. It's crazy that I can look back on myself 8 years ago today, pretty much. It's insane, but it's really cool at the same time. I'm happier, I'm more fulfilled, I'm living a life that's more congruent with my values and goals and virtues than I ever have in my entire life, and I wouldn't change a thing. Even all the bad stuff that happened in the 2010s, and all the times where I was shy, and all the times where I drank too much because I was shy and blacked out and did stupid shit, all of the bad memories, all of the good memories, it all led me to where I am today, and I am intensely grateful for all of that, because I am so happy with who I am today. I'm so happy with where I'm headed and my trajectory. I'm happy with my career, I'm happy with my home, I'm happy with my partner, I'm happy with my family. It was a fantastic decade. Now for the 2020s, I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video as well. I can only imagine how much I can achieve with my new positive and optimistic mindset that I've never really had up until this year. I've fundamentally changed the way I see the world by harnessing the power of gratitude and keeping a gratitude journal. I've fundamentally changed the way that I see the world by continuing to push and try and get better and to improve. This is what I've wanted my whole life. Back at the beginning of 2010, I was probably like watching Anthony Robbins videos every now and then, maybe reading a few pages of his book, but being too lazy to actually buckle down and read the whole thing. And now I'm at that point where I read that stuff. That stuff is my life. Constantly learning and growing and developing is my life at the moment. And I want it to be my life for the rest of my life. I want, when Emily and I have children, I want them to see what it's like to be a functional and happy adult who's working towards goals and who doesn't take life too seriously, who's optimistic, who's grateful for things, who just really appreciates the little things in life. That's what I want for my kids. I want to be able to have a great time. But yeah, the 2010s are almost over. There's a couple of hours left. It's like midday, so there's like 12 hours left in the 2010s, 12 hours left in 2019. It started out pretty shit, I guess, but from little things, big things grow. From, rock bottom is a solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life is my favourite quote by J.K. Rowling, and it's very true. I hit rock bottom again and again. Probably my true rock bottom was probably 2014. I think it was February, and that's when I was 126 kilos and my girlfriend had just broken up with me and I was completely and utterly and hopelessly depressed. And I thought life would never get better. And, 5 years later, 6 years later, I couldn't even imagine, I couldn't have told you 5 or 6 years ago that my life would be this way. I couldn't have told you that I'd be jumping out of planes, I'd be, snorkeling, and that I'd live in this beautiful suburb that we live in a home that we own, that I do the job that I do, that I'm as confident as I am, that I'm as happy as I am, that I'm as just free-spirited as I am. Life is fantastic, and I'm incredibly grateful for the decade. And I'm incredibly grateful for the past year, and I'm incredibly grateful for my entire life. It's only going to get better from here, and I can't wait to continue documenting it. Can't wait to continue sharing it with my friends and family, with all those people that I love in the world. There's not really, I could go on for hours, but I'm just going to live my dream, continue to live my dream, continue to live a life that's congruent with my virtues and my values and where I want to be in life, and just continue to be a good person, because that's more important than anything, being a good person and just loving. That's all I want in life. And yeah, it's only going to get better from here, and it's already pretty awesome, so I can't wait to see what 2020 holds for me. Thank you to the 2010s for bringing me to where I am today. Anyway, I'm going to have lunch and go to work. It's going to be good. I'm home from work, I'm here with my girls. Emily and I just got home from a run because that's how motivated we are at the moment. There's 10 seconds pretty much left until the new year. What are your final thoughts? Good year?
Woo! 2019 was amazing. I can't wait for 2020. It's going to be even better.
It's almost there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, little Migsy. We love you. Happy New Year, darling. Oh, I'm so excited you're reaching in to say Happy New Year. Yes, my girls. It's 2020. It's a new decade.
It's a new decade.
Yeah, buddy. Let's smash this decade, baby.
Yeah.
Well, we might have kids by the end of the decade.
We probably will.
That's crazy.
We got a decade where we probably get to get married, have kids.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, love you. Love you too.
2020, yeah! Anyway, on that note, I'm going to end the vlog because I've got to wake up and go to work tomorrow, do a run. It's going to be a great year. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're doing well. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.